All right, we're back with another Pick'em video. It is Friday, May 23rd in the NBA. We're going to talk Knicks Pacers in this one, game 2. First game did not go very well for me specifically. Gave out 2 picks here. Halliburton under 2.5 3-pointers. He looked like Reggie Miller reincarnated. The choke symbol, everything, the comeback. The Pacers are nitty and gritty, and they're never out of a game. It's absolutely insane. That game was super fun to watch. Unfortunately, the picks didn't go our way, but hopefully this is entertainment at the end of the day for you guys, and it doesn't ruin your week when you go out there and lose a few games in a row. Especially, I've been in the kind of a cold streak here. I'm not going to brush over that, but the transition will come to. We'll get heat back up. That's how these things work, and hopefully that starts today. I'm also going to talk about some WNBA plays in this one at the end of this thing. There's 4 WNBA games today. I'm not going to have time to do 2 videos, so I'll sneak it in at the end of this thing, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in that. My WNBA season has not started off super well. That's probably because all of the movement in the WNBA. It's hard to go back and do research on historical data because a lot of these teams are completely different. But again, I am watching clips. I am getting a little bit more in tune with the WNBA this season, how teams are playing, and we've got a few games under our belt, so I think that will start to slowly turn around too. So hopefully today's a good day. We'll start with the Knicks and the Pacers, then we'll move over to the WNBA and try to get you guys out of here as quickly as possible. So let's hop into the first game of the night, Knicks Pacers, game 2. All right, so hopping into props madness like we always do. This is the player prop tool that I use for the NBA and the WNBA. It's awesome. You're going to see how powerful it is throughout this video, and if you want to check it out for yourself, use my code in the description down below. It's code RICH. You get 25% off your first month or your first year. Again, they have WNBA and NBA, and you're also going to get a free week trial as well. Again, use code RICH. Let them know that I sent you there. So let's start with the Knicks and the Pacers. Again, game 1 was a freaking movie. That was awesome. If that's any trajectory of what's going to happen this series, we're in for an awesome one here. And we saw Karl-Anthony Towns have a really good game. If I'm being totally honest, he was my first look in this game, specifically because we knew this was going to be controlled by the pace. And the Pacers do like to control their own pace. And the Knicks are actually very good at matching paces, whether it's them going slow like they typically do or speeding up. They're typically good at adjusting to that. One of the guys that plays very, very well consistently with the pace, we've seen Karl-Anthony Towns do that all year. We go into teams that are, top 10 in pace. He's over the scoring line in 62% of those. So he's definitely a beneficiary. Whenever there's a higher pace, he's going to get out there and run. He's a, kind of a little bit more of a mobile player out there. He plays with a lot of zest and, plays out there and can keep up with the pace. He's not a center out there that's going to be slugging and lugging, especially going up against, Miles Turner. He's very similar to that guy in the matchup pretty well. So Karl-Anthony Towns out there, it is 23.5 points right now. So I just wanted to mention him. I'm not sure if he'll be in a full official video pick, but 23.5 points. This was a points and assist line at 23.5 last time. I don't mind the points and assist line here at 25.5, but Karl-Anthony Towns definitely someone I want to look at. He's had great success against this team specifically, had a 45 piece back in February against them, had 30 in November, and then 35 in game 1. Obviously, the overtime helps that just a little bit, but he was aggressive. He was hitting shots, and I think they need that from him to be successful in this series. I think Brunson's also going to be a guy that does his thing. Now, we went to Josh Hart in the first game. He did not do much in terms of volume, only 6 shots in that game, but I do expect him to be also a guy that can keep up with the pace. We've seen the pace. We saw how many points were scored. Again, overtime helps that, but this team is definitely running, and the Knicks are able to keep up typically. Another guy that plays a lot of pace and can keep up with that pace is a guy like Josh Hart. Now, Brunson's the one guy that I did think would be affected negatively by the pace here because of the hit rate obviously goes down, but the way he plays, plays meticulously and wants to get that bump. I've talked about it many times, especially in the Celtics series, but now in the Pacers series, we didn't see that from him. He was aggressive. He went right to the basket, got a lot of shots inside. He had 43 points, only had 1 3-pointer, shot 6. So something I'm interested in potentially is the Jalen Brunson under 2.5 threes. They defended him the way that they wanted to defend him. He scored 43 points. Towns scored 35 points. A lot of guys for the Knicks were playing well, and the Pacers still came out with the victory. So I don't think Jalen Brunson's going to rely on that 3-pointer. I think he is going to try to continue to get to the rim in the mid-range and the floater game, whatever it might be. And under 2.5 3-pointers has been juiced. It's something I got in a few days ago, actually, when I saw the lines come out, or probably pretty much just after that game, because a guy scores 43 points and only hits 1 3. That's something you got to jump on for sure. So this has gotten juiced out the gills, -150, -140 on some books, but definitely a good parlay piece in my opinion. And the guys, again, specifically that I want to look at are going to be the Karl-Anthony Townses, the OG Anunobis of the world. Karl-Anthony Townses and the Josh Harts of the world. I'm going right back to those guys. I think those guys continue to run the pace. I think they're kind of the energizers for these teams. These other dudes are a little bit, more level-headed. Brunson's going to do his thing. McHale and OG are going to do a lot of stuff defensively. And again, they had pretty good offensive games too, and it's just crazy that the Pacers go out and there pull that thing out. So on the Knicks side of things, I do lean Towns, points and assists, whatever it might be. I don't really love his rebounding opportunities in this series. I think he had 12 rebounds in that first one, but a lot of that again due to the extra overtime and things like that. And then a guy like Josh Hart, his double-double was something that I looked at in the first game. Again, he wouldn't have got there, only scored 8 points, but his rebounding was there, and I do like that. In this series, we only saw how many minutes of Mitchell Robinson we saw. We saw 21 minutes of Mitchell Robinson, but he was someone that we were definitely looking at the under because he was kind of mitigated in his minutes. So I like Josh Hart. I like Karl-Anthony Towns. I think those guys are the mismatches here. They can handle the pace for sure. So Josh Hart double-double, also something I want to sprinkle in. Again, I didn't get there last time, but definitely was something I was interested in. If he can just get 10 points, I think the rebounds will be there for him for some nice plus money, and that's going to be the read on the Knicks side of things today. Moving along to the Pacers side of things, I'll start with Tyrese Halliburton because obviously he crushed me last time, and I'm fading him once again, but in a totally different aspect here. It's going to be a double-double here, so I'm not going to go under his 9.5 assists, or maybe I guess you could. Either way, 9.5 assists under or the double-double under, whatever you're going to get better value. Looks like you can find it for minus 125. I think the double-double, you can get it for minus 125. So honestly, under the 9.5 assists, either one, wherever you can find it for the best value, I'd take the under double-double or the under 9.5 assists. I don't think he's going to go out there and get 10 rebounds, and here's the reasoning. So the Knicks made some adjustments throughout the game, like you always do in a playoff game, and their best quarter for the Knicks was the second quarter, and Tyrese Halliburton scored 10 points in that second quarter and only got 1 assist. So we talked about it when talking about the pick and roll ball handling. I think they're going to, give him pressure in the 3-point line, make him go into that pick and roll ball handling, and then they're going to defend those guys that he usually passes to. Halliburton, one of the best distributors in the league right now, is going to get a little bit uncomfortable when that happens, and that's what we saw in that second quarter. That's that quarter the Knicks won by the most points. I think like a 6 or 7 point difference in that second quarter. Now, they adjusted to that because for some reason, Halliburton was scoring a decent amount. I don't know why they adjusted, but they started leaving guys open. That's when we see, obviously, the fourth quarter barrage by Nesmith is a little bit crazy, and that it's hard to defend anyone that's that hot. But they went away from that. Halliburton started to rack up some assists. He did it in the first quarter. He did it in the final quarter as well. So I think they're going to adjust to that. I think they're going to make Halliburton be a little bit more of the scorer. I like the under threes once again, but we'll see if he's going to be scoring a lot of points. That's going to probably translate to him shooting threes better. I just like his under assist. I think that's the move. I think that's what makes the most sense. Again, under the double-double, under the assist, whatever you're going to get better value for it. That's going to be the play for the Pacers side of things. I was looking at a lot of other players, but again, I think the Knicks are going to be playing chess here. They got to figure out what was working, what was not working, and it's going to be hard to predict if Nesmith is going to shoot 6 threes in 5 minutes once again. That was ridiculous. Is Nembhard going to give him the same 15 points that he got last time? He was expected to be a little bit more mitigated. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to try to take away these other guys, let Halliburton score the ball, and I think that's going to translate to less assists here in Madison Square Garden. Kind of a must-win situation for the Knicks. You don't want to go down 0-2, especially dropping 2 games at home. That does not bode well for you guys in the series if that does happen. So let Halliburton cook in terms of scoring whatever he wants. Get rid of those other guys, knocking down threes. That's how they came back into that game. And that's the play for the Pacers side of things. Moving along to the WNBA, which we have 4 different games here, which is pretty sweet. We got some plays that I'm liking. The first one's going to be Alana Smith, who missed the first game of the season. She has like a hamstring injury, came back, played the 17 minutes against the Sparks in that second game of the season, first game for her. She dropped 4 of 7 threes, 7 to 10 from the field, and had 18 points in 17 minutes. She followed that up with 29 minutes, so obviously got a little bit healthier. She's probable today, projected for 30 minutes in this game. And she shot 3 of 7 from the 3-point line. Field goal percentage is also good. Now, she hasn't really played a very good defensive team, but that's okay because she's going up against the worst defensive team in terms of rating, the Connecticut Sun, who pretty much gutted their entire team this season. And they don't have much offense. They don't have much defense overall. And we've seen that against their 2 games so far this season. Again, defensive rating dead last year. So Alana Smith has been able to do it in 17 minutes, in 29 minutes. I expect her to get, probably around the 25 minutes, depending on the spread here, 16.5. Could be a blowout situation, but the points line is 11.5. You could look at that. I'm really looking at the 1.5 3-pointers line because we're getting some pretty good value. You can get this at minus 120 on a lot of different books, and she's been killing it from the 3-point line. So she's the first player I'm looking at for sure, going up against a weak defense. She's done it in limited minutes. She's done it in the most minutes she's gotten, and again, very weak defense here overall. I think, there's no reason for her not to do it again today. If she comes out there and shoots 0 of 8, we'll take the loss on the chin. But I think she can knock down 2 threes for us, especially considering what she's done so far this season. The last play of the day is going to be Brittany Sykes, and I'm looking at her under here at 20.5. And I'm really just playing the spread. They're going up against the Aces. This is going to be their hardest test of the season so far. They played from some pretty weak teams overall, the Dream, the Sun, the Valkyrie here. The only loss they had was a 2-point loss. Other games have been pretty close, and she's played a ton of minutes, and she's been good in those minutes. So she's stepping into a bigger role here. She's got a lot more volume. If there is a blowout, I think she's the first one to lose minutes over these young girls like Kiki and Sonia Citrone. So I was looking at some unders for them specifically first, but I think Brittany Sykes at 20.5, she's going to have a really good game here against the Aces and keep this thing relatively close, I think, to get over here. Now, again, she scores a little bit of most of her points inside. They're, a weaker defense inside. She has to deal with Asia Wilson down there. But I think the better thing to look at here is the pick and roll ball handling. They're number one. And we can see specifically Marina Mabry here stepping into another role, like on the Connecticut Sun. She's now the leader of that team, the most usage rate on that team. And they were able to limit Mabry. She had a 17.5 line, and she only scored 7 points here. So I like the opportunity here for Brittany Sykes, taking the under, 20.5 points, run the young girls, a little bit more if it turns into a blowout. But obviously Brittany Sykes is in a different situation here. We see last games, 2024, she didn't get over this much at all. It's hard to look at those games, but again, games they lost by 10 plus points. She wasn't even close to this line. So again, I think she's surrounded by a lot of young players. If this is a 15-point game going into the third quarter or whatever, fourth quarter, I think she's the first one to lose the minutes, and I'll take the under 20.5 points here. I was also looking at points and assists. That's something I was looking at. Really, any of the minutes, being down is going to hurt her here. So I think I'll just stick with the 20.5 points. If you want to get fancy with it, go to the points and assists. I don't mind that either, to be honest. So that's going to do it for this one. We talked about 4 different plays total. We talked about 2 in the NBA, 2 in the WNBA. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And last thing I want to mention is we are going to be eventually going live and doing live streams probably a couple days a week. And it's going to be using OddsJam, which is a tool I use. It's an awesome tool. It's a partner of the channel as well. Check out OddsJam for a free week. If you're really interested in math and actually beating the sportsbooks, essentially, again, using math, you're flipping the sportsbook edge or casino edge, whatever you want to call it, on its head, and you are taking that edge to be a profitable sports bettor long-term, literally using math. It's really cool. So, for instance, this is just an example. Tyrese Halliburton under double-double, which is what we talked about in today's video. Here's one to play that's available on Betr for a great EV, expected value play. And here's 7 of them. If you guys have Betr, definitely go ahead and plug these in if they're still available. But yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, why is this a good EV bet? Why are we getting an edge over this bet? Well, it's because every other sportsbook has this at minus 154, heavy favorite, minus 135, minus 142 on Novig, minus 125. We're getting better odds on this, minus 121 on Betr in a 5-pick entry over any sportsbook right now. So that's why it's EV. It's an inefficiency in the market, and their line is just set to low right now. We're getting better odds than any other sportsbook. If you take away the VIG and get some math into this, you'll see that you're getting the edge, the sportsbook edge. That's what they are, $1 billion companies for, that little edge that they work off of, and you're getting that little edge. So mathematically, in the long term, you're going to be a profitable sports bettor, which is really, really fun and really, really cool. And again, we're going to be doing these live streams in a little bit, probably in the next week or two. And you guys can, follow along with me, get my method. I want to get some more, results to show you guys, but also really tune in on my method and have, questions that I can answer from you guys or whatever it might be. So this is a really cool thing. Positive EVs, very, very interesting, and super excited to show it off for you guys. But again, if you want to check out OddsJam, you can get a free week actually using my link in the description. Again, don't forget Props Madness. You can check that out as well. If you're on Betr or if you're not on Betr, use my code down below. It's code RichPicks. You get a deposit match when you sign up for that. You also get a free month in my Discord, so it's a pretty sweet win-win-win. And you all get a free slip right here with 7 different players thrown into a 5-man. They have discounts every single day as well. So it's awesome. So definitely check it out. Win-win-win situation, and really excited to do some positive EV value with you guys on some live streams in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, definitely go ahead and leave the video a like, comment something down below, subscribe if you are new, all those good things, and definitely good luck with all your bets today. Also, if you want to get access to OddsJam or Props Madness, use my code in the description down below. You get that free trial for either one of those websites. You also get 25% off your first month for either of those websites either. And then if you're not on Betr, if you're not on Underdog, if you're not on PrizePicks, any of those DFS platforms, my code in the description down below. It's a win-win-win situation. You get a free month in my Discord where I post all my plays. You get the deposit match that. You get a free square for a new user, all the different stuff. And we actually have a new partner, which is Novig. And if you're in a state that doesn't allow sports books, like right now I'm in Rhode Island, they don't allow FanDuel, they don't allow DraftKings, they don't allow any different sports book specifically. They allow PrizePicks, they allow Underdog, all the DFS platforms, but Novig acts as an exchange. It's very much peer-to-peer, which is really cool because you're going up against someone specifically. So if you put a $100 bet on the Knicks tonight, someone else is putting a $100 bet on the Pacers that you're actually going up against. So it's not against a sports book. They just take a 3% fee, which is tiny, and that's how they make their money. So it's really interesting. You have all the different lines. You can bet on teams, you can bet on spreads, you can bet on money lines, whatever it might be. It's very, very much like a sports book. But yeah, Novig, new partner of the channel, code RichPicks, link in the description down below. Definitely check them out if you're in one of those DFS platform cities or states and you want to get onto something like a sports book. Novig is going to be your best bet for that. So check them out. Novig, code RichPicks, any of the other platforms. Read the description. Thanks for watching. Good luck with all your bets. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.